we wanted to make some predictions. So we're at the beginning of a new year, and everyone loves to share their predictions for what will be the most disruptive in the data world in the year to come. Martine, maybe you could start. Could you kick us off with a preview of what you think will be most disruptive this year?
So I haven't a clue. But I know it's going to be an amazing year in data. So I would just encourage anybody listening to this to not think this is a zero-sum game. Like, this is kind of robbing from that, and you have to do this or that, or like whatever. The reality is, even if you look at the macro environment, data is doing phenomenal. It's more central to organizations than it's ever been before. If I see 10 companies that come in, let's say in the enterprise app space, they don't differentiate on software anymore. They differentiate in data. The amount of changes that we all know that are happening in various aspects are, of a level we've never seen before. So it's just going to be, like 2023 is going to be an unbelievable year in data. That I know for sure. What it actually looks like, I don't know.
Very honest. Teresa, what do you think will be the biggest disruption this year?
Well, I think there's going to be bigger adoption of data mesh, including the, some of the more modern data stack to drive that. Some of the tools that people hadn't invested in as much before, let's say your data catalog, that might have been something dusty in the corner. Now it's really going to be a star if it becomes a data exchange, a data marketplace, right? The access control layers that you might not have done. Tools like Starburst, which again, maybe you didn't have before because you were trying to centralize everything, and we realized we can't do that. If we look forward, again, the next phase, I'm really betting on domain knowledge graphs. So if I use an analogy, data products might have been like what AOL was many years ago. We said, here's your weather services, your sports services, like this is what you need to have when you surf the internet. We were just getting into the internet. We didn't really know what it was or even what a web page is. Once we see what a data product is and it starts becoming pervasive and people start using it, we're going to see domain knowledge graphs, just like in web search. When we search for something today, like say Accenture, you actually see the map based off of where you're sitting. It's closest to you. It's contextualized. And so I see data mesh kind of the next evolution, adding that sort of semantic layer.
Excellent. And Zhamak, you just started a brand new company, which I have tremendous empathy for the journey you're about to embark on. What are some solutions you predict your future customers will want?
Sure. So we have early customers and design partners that we're working with and building the product with. And they all want the same thing. They want to have their cake and eat it. Is that the expression, have your cake and eat it too? Yeah, that's it. So they want to have their decentralized data, but they want it to be discoverable, they want it to be interoperable, they want it to be across organizational technology boundaries, they want all of that. So it's, even though it might sound simple and we have a lot of technologies on the slide for it, it's hard to get to that with a seamless and a native experience. There's still a large amount of effort and goes into the integration technologies in that decentralized bottom-up data sharing. So what we at Next Data, we try to, I guess, strive to create is a catalyst technology that makes this experience of working with data in this peer-to-peer decentralized analytics as seamless and as native as possible. I think we are at the bottom of that hockey stick of introduction of a new technology when things get hard for a little bit and more expensive before it gets the value really materializes. And hopefully we're seeing technologies that put us at the top of that hockey stick and creates more effectiveness and efficiency working with data mesh, because there's still quite a lot of friction to operate in that model. We're still in the middle of like, let's decentralize, such as, we went through this decentralized IT, now we're decentralizing data, and it's, we need a set of technologies that can be catalysts in and create a very native experience from the origin of the data to applied ML or analytics.
Very cool. So I guess to finish with my own prediction, to me, one of the things that I think is very exciting about decentralized architectures and the data mesh concept is that it makes the data movement, the data ingestion, the ETL processes more of opportunities, more optional, if you will, rather than necessities before you can do any analytics. And so I think what that will open up this year is an increased focus on optimization. And when I say optimization, I don't just mean query optimization, which we've done for decades, but actually optimizing for cost and for performance and giving the opportunity to decide where that data is going to live. So it doesn't all need to come into one central database in order for me to do analytics. I now have the choice. And I think with the backdrop of the macro environment and the uncertainty, customers will become increasingly focused on how do I optimize my architectures? How do I get the performance and cost considerations I'm looking for? And I think these decentralized models give you a greater opportunity to do that. So with that, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you again, Martine, Zhamak, and Teresa.